Welcome back to another episode of me pretending I know how to paint race cars. Today my buddy sent me this, asked if I could paint it. Let's get into it. First we start with the mountains. Right now I'm just trying to follow the shape of the car, because the car curves. And the mountains do not. Fun fact about West Virginia, it's called the Mountain State, which is helpful because we're currently putting mountains on a car. This is where things get important, because according to Brian Cook, if the numbers don't look right, the whole car don't look right. No pressure. Alright, now we paint the car blue, which is something I probably should have done earlier, but we got there eventually. Now I'm messing with the mountains again. Which is usually a bad idea. Because they already looked fun, but we're changing them anyway. This is where I probably mess it up and have to redo it. That happens more than I'd like to admit. Now I'm moving logos around, putting them in worse spots, just to confirm those spots are bad. Now I'm attempting to do something cool with the roof, which is currently completely blank. So really, anything would be an improvement. The roof was actually starting to look really good, which was unexpected. So naturally, I changed something, and immediately it got worse. Now I'm painting the pillars blue, which it probably should have been the whole time. That's part of the process. Make it worse, and then fix it. Now what you're seeing here is me wasting about 45 minutes of my time on something I end up deleting. At the time, it felt like a good idea. It was not. Right now I'm adding details that are not really important, but feel important. Now I'm adjusting the layout, which is designer language for I don't like it. So we're changing it. Again. Now we go back to the mountains. Adjust them. Because they no longer look right. Even though they did before. That's totally normal. Add in the number to the roof. It's starting to look good. Which means I should leave it alone. West Virginia fun fact. Their colors is old gold and blue. At least I got that part right. At this point in the design, I'm adjusting things over and over again, which is making progress, technically. I wonder if this actually looks good, or if I've just been staring at it too long. Gold is one of those colors where, if you use it right, it looks amazing. But if you use it wrong, it looks like a trophy from 1997. At this point, I'm mostly just trying things and seeing what happens, which is a very professional approach. You ever get halfway through a design and realize you don't actually have a plan? Yeah. Right now, I'm adjusting things by very small amounts, which makes it look like I'm doing a lot. Now we're adding the name to the car. This is where the car starts to look real. Also where I try to make it look like everything was planned from the beginning. Some of these placements might look intentional. That's because I'm hoping they do. This is also the stage where I start being afraid to touch anything. Because one wrong move, and everything falls apart. At this point, I think we've recovered from the "what am I doing" phase, which is good, because there was several of those. One of the hardest parts of designing is deciding whether I'm improving it or just adding more problems. Alright, I kinda like it. Which is usually a red flag. This is the part where I convince myself one more detail will fix everything. It won't. At this point in the design, I'm no longer following a plan. I'm just reacting emotionally. West Virginia fun fact. The New River is actually one of the oldest rivers in the world, which is cool. because this design feels like it's been going on just as long. In this current stage, I start saying things like, this might be something, which is code for I'm not ready to admit this could go either way. Let's add some layering to the mountains. Give it a little depth. Because if there's one thing I'm good at, it's hiding mistakes behind more mistakes. Alright, now we step back. And this is the part where I decide if I'm a genius or if I need to restart. We're gonna keep going. Let's add some white accents just to clean things up, or at least give it the illusion that I know what clean means. At this point in the design, I convinced myself it looked better 10 minutes ago, but I have no proof of that, so we move forward. Right now I'm touching things that don't need to be touched, which has never once made anything better, but today could be the day. West Virginia fun fact. Take Me Home Country Roads is heavily associated with West Virginia. And honestly, that's exactly what I'll be singing if this goes bad. This is the part where I need to stop adding things. Because every extra detail from here on out has a 90% chance of making it worse. Let's make one small adjustment. Will turn into 6 adjustments. And somehow end up exactly where we started. All right. No idea how we got there, but we made it. Thanks for watching.